Random House Audiobooks presents G is for Gumshoe by Sue Grafton. Read for you by Judy Kaye.
G is for Gumshoe. Three things occurred on or about May 5th, which is not only Cinco de Mayo in California, but happy birthday to me. Aside from the fact that I turned 33, after what seemed like an interminable 12 months of being 32, the following also came to pass. Number one, the reconstruction of my apartment was completed and I moved back in. Number two, I was hired by Mrs. Clyde Gersh to bring her mother back from the Mojave Desert. And number three, I made one of the top slots on Tyrone Patty's hit list. I report these events not necessarily in the order of importance, but in the order most easily explained. For the record, my name is Kinsey Millhone. I'm a private investigator licensed by the state of California, now 33 years old, 118 pounds, and a 5'6" frame. My hair is dark, thick, and straight. I have hazel eyes, a nose that's been busted twice, but still manages to function pretty well, I think. If I were asked to rate my looks on a scale of 1 to 10, I wouldn't. I'd been living since New Year's with my landlord, Henry Pitts, an 82-year-old gent whose converted single-car garage apartment in Santa Teresa I'd been renting for 2 years. This nondescript but otherwise serviceable abode had been blown sky-high, and Henry had suggested that I move into his small back bedroom while my place was being rebuilt. I woke at 6 a.m. that Thursday morning, rolled out of bed and into my running shoes, and headed out Henry's back door. I jogged 3 miles and was home again 30 minutes later in time for Henry to sing "Happy Birthday to You" as he pulled a pan of freshly baked cinnamon rolls out of the oven. Being serenaded is not my favorite activity, but he did it so badly I could only be amused and gratified. I showered, pulled on jeans, a T-shirt, and my tennis shoes, and then Henry handed me a gift-wrapped jeweler's box which contained the newly minted brass key to my apartment. In a 2-person ceremonial procession, we walked across the flagstone patio to the front door of my place. I tried not to conjure up fantasies of any kind, but what I saw when the door swung open left me inarticulate. The entire apartment had the feel of a ship's interior. The walls were highly polished teak and oak with shelves and cubbyholes on every side. In the living room, a sofa had been built into a window bay with 2 royal blue canvas director's chairs arranged to form a conversational grouping. The dimensions of the main room were still roughly 15 feet on a side, but now there was a sleeping loft above, accessible by way of a tiny spiral staircase. I wound my way up, staring in amazement at the double-sized platform bed with drawers underneath. Loft windows looked out to the ocean on one side and the mountains on the other. Just off the loft, there was a small bathroom with a sunken tub and a window right at tub level. I could bathe among the treetops looking out at the ocean. When the inspection tour was complete, I stared at Henry, speechless. A phenomenon that made him laugh out loud, tickled with himself that he'd executed his scheme so perfectly. Close to tears, I leaned my forehead against his chest while he patted me awkwardly. I couldn't ask for a better friend. He left me alone soon afterward, and I went through every cabinet and drawer, drinking in the scent of the wood. It took me 15 minutes to move my possessions in. Most of what I owned had been destroyed by the same bomb that flattened the old place. Luckily, my all-purpose dress had survived, along with a favorite vest and the air fern Henry'd given me for Christmas. With the insurance money, I'd bought a few odds and ends, jeans and jumpsuits, and then I'd tucked the rest in a money market account where it was merrily collecting interest. At 8:45, I headed into the office, a quick 10-minute drive into town. I dispensed with several minor items, typing up a couple of invoices for 2 standing accounts. The last name on the list of phone calls was Mrs. Clyde Gersh, who had left a message on my machine late the day before. I dialed her number, and a woman picked up on the other end. "Mrs. Gersh?" "Yes?" "Kinsey Millhone returning your call," I said. There was a split second of silence. "Oh, yes, Miss Millhone. I have a matter I'd like to discuss with you. Is there any chance you might meet with me here sometime today?" "Sure," I said. She gave me the address, and since I didn't have anything else on the books, I said I'd be there within the hour. The address she'd given me was in the heart of town, not far from my office. One of the older blocks of single-family residences on a quiet tree-lined street. The house was a shambling affair, 2 stories of dark green shingle set sideways on a lot dense with sycamores. An obese black woman in a canary-yellow uniform let me in. "Mrs. Gersh is out on the upstairs porch," she said, then lumbered off. I had a momentary glimpse of the living room. The room was shadowy and cried out for table lamps. The whole house was muffled in silence and smelled of cauliflower and curry. At the top of the stairs, a screen door opened onto a broad, flat porch ringed with geraniums. Mrs. Gersh was stretched out on a chaise longue, eyes closed, a Judith Krantz novel face down on her lap. The woman was stick-thin with a dead white complexion. She struck me as the type who, 100 years ago, might have spent long years in a sanitarium with a series of misdiagnoses stemming from anxiety, unhappiness, laudanum addiction, or an aversion to sex. Her hair was an icy blonde, harshly bleached and sparse. Bright red lipstick defined her mouth, and her false lashes lay against her lower lids like sutures. I judged her to be in her 50s, but she might have been younger. Disease is an aging process in itself. "Mrs. Gersh?" She was startled, eyes flying open in a blaze of blue. For a moment she seemed disoriented, and then she collected herself. "Oh, you must be Kinsey," she murmured. "I'm Irene Gersh." She held out her left hand and clutched mine briefly, her fingers wiry and cold. "Sorry I frightened you." "Don't worry about it. I'm a bundle of nerves. Please, sit." I sat down on a white mesh lawn chair beside her. "I hope Germaine will have the presence of mind to bring us tea, but don't count on it," she said. "You're younger than I thought you'd be." "Old enough," I said. "Today's my birthday. I'm 33. "Well, happy birthday. I hope I didn't interrupt a celebration."
Not at all.
I'm 47 myself. She smiled briefly. I know I look like an old hag, but I'm relatively young, given California standards.
Have you been ill?
Let's put it this way, I haven't been well. My husband and I moved to Santa Teresa 3 years ago from Palm Springs. This was his parents' house. The point is, we didn't need to move here, but Clyde insisted.
I take it you weren't enthusiastic. She flashed a look at me.
I don't like it here. I never did. I always found the town oppressive. I have an aversion to the sea, and I don't like all the green. I was born and raised in the desert, which is what I prefer. My health has deteriorated since the day we arrived, though the doctors can't seem to find anything wrong with me. Clyde is thriving, of course. I suspect he thinks this is a form of pouting on my part.
I murmured noncommittally.
What do you know about the slabs? She asked abruptly.
The slabs?
Doesn't ring a bell, I see. Not surprising. The slabs are out in the Mojave, to the east of the Salton Sea. During the Second World War, there was a Marine base out there. All that's left are the concrete foundations for the barracks, now known as the slabs. I was raised out there. Conditions are very primitive. No water, no sewer lines, no city services of any sort. The people there live like gypsies, some in expensive RVs, some in cardboard shacks. My mother's one of the few permanent residents, but I haven't heard from her for months. She has no phone and no actual address. I'm worried about her. I want someone to drive down there and see if she's all right.
How often does she usually get in touch?
It used to be once a month. She hitches a ride into town and calls from a little cafe in Nyland. We talk, she buys supplies, and then hitchhikes back again.
She has an income? Social Security? Mrs. Gersh shook her head.
Just the checks I send.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?